Alright, welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. I think the most important question right now on every single JASMY holder's mind is when moon. CF, you've been saying that JASMY bullish, JASMY 54 cents, JASMY 30 cents, this and that. But really, I don't see it. When is JASMY going to be mooning? In this video today, I'm going to be trying to explain what really I think is happening with the JASMY price. And of course, from a time frame perspective, when really can we expect JASMY to have that strong push that we have been waiting for? Some of us for years, and some of us, of course, for a relatively shorter time. But whatever the case may be, everybody is looking for the JASMY price to do something, at least, right? Show us clarity. Others are complaining that there is no development from the team and stuff like that. Really, does all that matter when it comes to the price of JASMY? I don't want to run my mouth too much. Let's get right into the daily time frame here. And what we are seeing here with JASMY is that we have actually broken this downtrend that we have been having ever since we set the high in March. This is actually a very good sign. But of course, with that break, you see here that JASMY was pulling back something like 22% or 24%. Obviously, nobody wants to lose 24% of their money. This doesn't sit well with people. But I think it's still a technical backtest because you could still see the price continue to bounce out of there and push even way higher. I personally think that this 4.5 cents is not as strong as it may look. I think it's going to be obliterated very much easily right now. Still on that issue of the trend line, let me show you something that has performed really well recently with the same structure with the JASMY price. So this is JASMY on the left side, of course. Then of course on the right side we have got the Doge price. Just look at how these charts are almost behaving the same way. And what we are seeing even here for Dogecoin is that when it had its break of the trend line here, it still had to push back a little bit. Take a look at this, right? From the top to that bottom, it was right around a 21% drop. And from there, really, this has been a fantastic ride altogether. So now, can we expect the same thing here for the JASMY price? I don't think it will be crazy, honestly, because again, just technically speaking, looking at the charts, this is usually what you expect, right? You expect to drop back a little bit, back test your trend line, and then you continue to push towards the upside. But let's consider maybe an indicator or something like that. Let's go here with the 50 daily moving average here for JASMY, and also the same thing for the Dogecoin price. And you are seeing the same dynamics, really, that on the back test of that trend line here, you were looking to back test actually the 50 daily moving average. And that's also the same thing that we are doing with the JASMY price. So let me just zoom in nice and easy one more time here. You see that, look, we are backtesting that 50 daily moving average. We haven't had a daily candle below the 50 daily moving average, just as we were having here with the Dogecoin price. So I mean, this is just one data point. Other than that, if you come back to the naked price section of JASMY once again, you realize that in moments when we have broken above the 50 daily moving average here, this really has been a very strong push. I mean, for the most part, actually. Take a look at this point, for example. This was right around May 2024, where you see that you were breaking the 50 daily moving average and you're pushing very much strongly towards the upside. Let's take a look at how much big of a percentage this was. This was right around 138%. Then you come back here again, you see the same phenomenon, right? 50 daily moving average, you break above it, and you see here what happens. You have something like a 300% pump, right? Or 300, or whatever the case may be, it doesn't really matter. And then you see here, you have got the same dynamics again, pump above the 50 daily moving average, and then you are looking to push here very strongly, right around 120%. So this is almost the same situation we are in right now with JASMY, and I think the market conditions are great actually, because if we take a look at, for example, the Bitcoin price chart, like I want you to focus on the weekly time frames here. You see here, whenever you break above the previous all-time high, if you go back to previous cycles, for example, let's consider the 2021 cycle, and what you see is that normally you have a series of these bullish weekly candles, right? Now, what does this mean? It means that during this time, the market is very much excited with what the Bitcoin price is doing. And this momentum, eventually, we know that is going to be flowing into other altcoins as well. I'll show you different charts which indicate that, look, in as much as JASMY hasn't started moving yet, the market eventually will move again altogether, right? There's usually some kind of a lag between Bitcoin and a lot of altcoins because, new money is coming into this market. It goes to the big caps first, right? They are less riskier. They are well known. That's why you see things like Dogecoin pumping massively. You see Bitcoin pumping massively. But eventually, money trickles down to the small caps and they actually have got like much bigger pumps because they have got, small market caps and stuff like that. Now, what you are seeing here is the 2017 bull cycle. And I've gone on to look at like what altcoins were around there, like the popular ones like the Moneros and stuff like that. And what you see here is that everything just eventually took off, right? But at the beginning of this, right, so this white line that I demarcated here is when Bitcoin broke into like a new all-time high. Well, take a look at what the most of them were doing, right? Sideways or down, sideways or down, sideways, a little bit up, right? This one, specific one, this one was also up a little bit. Other than that, you see that sideways action. Maybe I should delete this one because probably you are not seeing really what you should be. Again, more like sideways action again, a little bit of a push and stuff like that. So you see that if you select, you'll be going, even when you come back to the 2021 cycle, it was almost the same dynamics, right? Not everything was pumping together at the same time, but eventually, in the grand scheme of things, everything will go. That's the same thing that we're expecting here, the JASMY price to do. But now the question again, CF, one moon, and if it's gonna be moon, how high can we expect the JASMY price to go? Let's talk about that real quick. But before I get there, let me deliver this message from our partners over there at BingX, the exchange. They've got this event that they are running, that if you register and sign up with them, trade on their exchange and stuff like that, you can claim up to $5,450, and on top of that, 300 ton tokens. The event is going to be lasting 16 days from now, and I think you should take advantage of that. The links will be right there in the description. So now, coming back to the JASMY price, and the most important question probably, right, is one moon here. So what we have been doing on this channel for a very long time, I know when you started YouTube channel, this was like in 2022 probably. It's small, right? Not many people knew me, but the thing is, we have been talking a lot about what the Cardano price was like in that bear cycle, right, leading into the 2021 bull cycle that it was having here. And up to this point, the JASMY price that has been following in that trajectory very much strongly for 1,108 days at this point. Now we've gotten to a point in which, according to that Cardano structure that we have been following, again, for 1,108 days, it started doing this all of a sudden. The question now becomes, is JASMY going to be deviating from this structure? Is JASMY not going to be pumping after we have been following this structure for 1,108 days? I don't see that as a likelihood. In fact, I think we're going to be doing the same thing that we have been doing over the past 1,108 days, which the next phase is going to be this coming from the Cardano price chart. So hence you see this highlighted structure, but the question again remains, how high can we go with the JASMY price chart? If we come here to the Cardano structure and use our Fibonacci retracement tools, right, from the very top of that structure to the bottom, you see that this was reaching at first the 1.618 Fibonacci extension level, and the market did a strong pullback. Then eventually it tried to come as close to the 2.618 Fibonacci extension level. Now if you come back here to the JASMY price set, we don't know if we're going to be having another peak in the cycle, because remember in the last cycle BTC had 2 peaks, right? So we have put our Fibonacci extension level, and we are looking here to reach at least the 1.618 Fibonacci extension level. That is right around 54 cents for JASMY. I think it's something that is very much possible. I know, of course, there's a lot of talk about, oh, you know, the market cap with this and this and this and that. But then again, like, nobody has ever imagined how big this market is going to be anyway. So again, 54 cents to Fibonacci golden ratio is the main price target for the JASMY price. Am I saying that you shouldn't be selling anything until 54 cents? I don't think so. Am I also saying that it will never go above 54 cents? I'm not saying that, but I'm just looking at this and saying, look, we've been following this thing for more than 3 years at this point. On top of that, we have a totally different chart, which is the Velo price. So you see JASMY again on the left side, and then we have got the Velo price here on the right side. Now, take a look at how high the Velo price was going relative to the same structure that looks like the JASMY price from the very top here to the bottom. Look at your first destination here. Again, the 1.618 Fibonacci extension level, the golden ratio. One more time. Let's go again. Do the same thing here for JASMY from top to bottom. What are you looking at? 54 cents. I mean, that's not very much different from 54 cents. So that's the whole structure here. Again, from a time frame perspective, I think we are already in that moment. So it's a matter of like any day from now, really, we're going to be pumping, because I didn't mention this maybe, but for that Cardano structure, from the peak until the moment it really started kicking this bull market, it took 1,094 days. So we have exceeded that a little bit here for JASMY, but I think that our moment is going to be coming again. I have to highlight that all boats are going to be rising. It may not feel like that right at this point, but there's never also been a point in time where Bitcoin just goes ahead, it sets a new all-time high, and these altcoins don't follow. It feels like that, like Bitcoin is going to be going and it will destroy everything because of the ETFs and stuff like that. So people are wondering, like, you know what is going to be happening to JASMY? Who is going to be looking at JASMY? It really doesn't have any ETFs or any hopes of that. But, you know, the fact of the matter is that the market will always be the same. So my fingers are crossed right at this point that, you know what, the JASMY price that is beginning to show some signs of life here, especially with this 50-day moving average. And of course, we are back testing this break of trend line. So, I mean, unless something really crazy happens in this market, then we're probably not going to be seeing JASMY going up. But yeah, we would have to just take it on the chin and admit that, you know what, we have been wrong all along. But for now, this is what the data is suggesting. I've just interpreted it the way I look at it, the way I understand it, and that's where we are sitting right at this point. Please, if you like the video, I want to kindly ask you to help me spread it by delicately tapping the like button. Drop a comment in the comment. Let's make noise for the algorithm. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, because I do TA on JASMY and a number of other different altcoins for 2 years at this point on a regular basis. Now, with that being said, just remember, none of what I say is financial advice, and you shouldn't be buying or selling anything because of anything I say, all right? Take really, really good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.